Hey guys, and welcome back to another DJI Air 3 video, and this week we're actually going to be looking at the Freewell Everyday 3-pack. So I've actually been out to test all three of these filters to see how they can enhance your photo and videos. By the way, if you're already subscribed, guess what? Yep, that's right. You know what's coming, don't you? If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Dimitrios and I create videos on drones, photography and everything in between, and it's a mix of entertaining and educational content. So after several years of flying the reliable DJI Mini 2, I finally upgraded to the DJI Air 3 and was just overwhelmed with all the features and functions available. And I thought, why not share my journey with you guys as I learned the Air 3 and all its capabilities. Think of this as a series of videos to help get the most out of your DJI Air 3. Subscribe to stay up to date. That being said, let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what's in the box, my testing for both photo and video, and what I actually think. Okay, first of all, I actually purchased these with my own money. Freewell did not send them to me. I have had asked them in the past and they just said no, which is fair enough. Like, I tried, but they did send me like a series of messages, like it just went wild, and they absolutely hated on DJI, which was crazy. I was just like, I only asked a simple question and then they just laid in on me. Anyways, I bought this with my own money, so I'm gonna give an honest review and feedback on these. And these set me back about just over 90 Canadian dollars. So in the box, you get three filters. You get a UV, an LPR, which is light pollution reduction, and a mist filter quarter strength. Now, this is the actual description of what each filter does. The UV filter is ideal for maintaining optical clarity while protecting the lens from everyday debris and UV light. The light pollution reduction filter is designed to filter out certain wavelengths of urban lighting, giving you a purer, more realistic shots of nighttime urban settings and night skies. And then the mist filter quarter strength, also known as snow mist, gives a white colored mist effect to your footage and images, adding a soft ethereal glow to highlights, midtones and shadows. So that is the description of each of these filters. So these Freewell filters are actually very low profile. They're actually really thin in comparison to the DJI ones. And I actually don't like this because it makes it very tricky to put on, especially when it was cold outside. Trying to put them on was a lot more of a struggle in comparison to DJI's filters. So I don't understand why Freewell did this. It's not as if they're trying to save weight. The drone's already over 250 grams. So I don't understand why they did this low profile. I actually prefer DJI's filters, the way they're built. It's a lot easier to hold and put on. They were a lot simpler. And then considering the fact they're low profile, there's this really like chunky case. Like I don't understand why the case is so big if the filters are so thin. Whereas DJI's ones, I do prefer this case in comparison to Freewell's one. This fits a lot better in DJI's bag. So now we're gonna move on to the testing portion of these filters for both photo and video. Set two flights that day. So one was around sunset, even though it was a cloudy day, and the other one was at night. So the first thing I did was create a waypoints mission so I could get a reference video and reference photo for each of these so we can actually do a comparison. So first I did a flight with no filter, just DJI's regular camera, just see how it comes out. Now after I had my reference video and photo, I actually landed, put on the UV filter, not as if it was gonna do anything because it wasn't really sunny that day, but hey, let's just try it anyway and see what happens. And I really didn't notice anything with both photo and video. If you look at other YouTube videos, everyone says these UV filters actually don't offer anything different other than just protection for your lens. DJI's standard filter here actually has glass in front. So there's not really need for it personally, but hey, we tried it. I may have to do a part 2, maybe come springtime or summertime. I can test out this UV filter again, but I don't think it's gonna be any different. Oh, do you know what? I almost forgot. It is December now. Let's just put this on, we can continue the video. So the light pollution reduction filter isn't meant for daytime, hence it's supposed to reduce certain wavelengths. So I saved that one for night. However, I did test the mist filter. It is that time of day where it was, yes, we had a lot of overcast, but there are some bulbs on. Did the mist filter have any effect at all? I didn't really notice anything with both photo and video. If anything, it will be very, very slight. Maybe it was just this airy lightness to it, but I couldn't really see a massive difference in the day with the mist filter. And that's a shame really, because this here is my Polar Pro mist filter. And I actually use this all the time when taking shots with my camera, and you can noticeably see the difference with lights, just giving that nice glow and halation, just make everything look magical and airy and misty, just all these lovely words. I really love Polar Pro's mist filter here. I actually made a video before, so you can check that out up here. But maybe we should do a newer one. Let me know in the comment section down below. But I digress, let's continue. So after coming back home and waiting a couple of hours until my night flight, which was scheduled, I did a round two. So again, I flew the drone with DJI's regular lens, so no filter whatsoever, to get a reference point for both photo and video. And then UV filter is obviously pointless at night, so I didn't test that. So then I added the LPR filter to see what is up. And at first I didn't notice anything, but you can't really see anything from the DJI controller that was noticeable. So I just carried on flying. I used my waypoints to have that reference point for both photo and video. After looking back at the images, I couldn't really see anything straight away, but I carried on digging to see if I could notice anything, and then it hit me. Now let's start with photos. When you look at the no filter versus the LPR filter, you will notice that there is less orange tinge and more of a cooler feel, and I think more clarity with the photos. And the same goes for video as well. When you play back the footage and you see the difference side by side, you will notice that the LPR filter definitely removes that orange tinge and just adds a slightly little bit more clarity. Now, just to be clear, I did use auto for both photo and video with these. So if there is a bunch of noise within the photos and videos, it's because I left the drone to do all the work for simplicity. But I feel that most people do use auto when taking photo and video, so they can concentrate more on the flying portion rather than getting the most out of the camera from the drone when shooting in manual pro mode, which is what I normally do. After taking the photo and videos with the LPR, I actually landed the drone and we put on the mist filter. I was hoping to see some magic like I do with the Polar Pro mist filter on my camera lens to see if I can get the same effect. So again, straight away when I put it on, before I took off, I noticed the glow and the halation around the street lights. So we were off to a good start. Again, flying the waypoints mission for a reference point for both photo and video, you can noticeably see the mist in action, especially around big bright light sources. So the CN Tower, for instance, even though it was a cloudy day and the CN Tower lights weren't on when I was testing the LPR in the normal mode, but hey, whatever, just dealing with the cards that was dealt at the time. But you definitely notice it on the tops of buildings with the little red lights. You will notice the halation. Even the cranes with their bright lights at night, you would see the halation, and even billboards as well. Not so much on traffic. I actually think the drone has to be lower down to have that effect with the glow and halation, but definitely it is noticeable, so you can see it. And then just check out these other shots that I've taken with both the LPR and the mist filter. I actually really like both filters, and this actually leads on to why I actually think. So would I actually recommend the Freewell Everyday 3-pack? Everyday 3-pack. Well, I have taken night photos before. I've already created a video on this as well, so if you check that up here. However, with this video specifically, I was actually testing DJI's ND filters for long exposure photography. So you can't really compare long exposure shots with these filters because they do a totally different thing. I'm able to have a 2-second to 8-second long shutter speed on these photos to get those light trails, and I can't achieve that with these filters because it will be overexposed. However, I do think there is more clarity with using the LPR filter. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I actually really like these two photos, and they were both taking on the 70mm focal length on the DJI Air 3 using my preset. Now the mist filter is actually more creative. So if I already use frequently the Polar Pro mist filter, I would have expected myself to like this too, and I do. I actually do like it. It is a unique, creative look. The thing is, with using the mist filter, you can't take it away. So it's built into the actual image. You can do this in post-processing, but it takes a lot longer. You could just slap on this filter and suddenly you have this nice glow effect around these big bright lights. It just adds this extra something that you don't really get with other photos. And I think with the low clouds as well, it just added more of a dramatic atmosphere. So if you want a more creative look for both your photo and video, then I do recommend the mist filter. It's just a shame it's not a variable ND mist filter, because that would be cool to have a long exposure mist filter with all the light trails. That would be cool. And we already know that these are possible because Polar Pro actually make variable ND mist filters. I've actually been asking Polar Pro all the time, like, where are your mist filters? Because they have a set of ND filters, but they don't have the mist filter or this light pollution filter, which I really do want to test theirs out. So Polar Pro, if you are listening, I'm willing to test out your mist filters. And in addition to that, if you can add a gold and blue morphic version as well, because I think that will be cool. And maybe a star filter as well, so all the light sources have like this star effect on photos. That would be cool too. And the other thing is that Freewell is probably one of the only known brands that actually make these filters. Now you can find other creative filters for the DJI 3, but I don't know the quality of them. I don't know the brand that well. I'll be more than happy to test them to see if they're any better or different. I have seen a couple. You're gonna spend money, it might not be a good product. So I will leave it up to you whether you want to buy the Freewell Everyday 3-pack. There are links in the description box down below. So yeah, that is an affiliate link. So if you do buy this or anything else through that link, I get a small commission. It does help the YouTube channel out for me to make more videos for you guys. So next week, we're gonna be doing some more filters. The Freewell All Day 8-pack. Specifically, I'm not testing the ND filters because I've kind of done that already, but we can do maybe in the spring or the summer. But what I'm gonna test out specifically with these ones is the ND 1000 and 2000s. Those are the most interesting for me, and that's what we're gonna be covering next week, so stay tuned for that. And like always, if there's anything you want to learn about the DJI Air 3, let me know in the comment section down below. Is the Air 3 one of these drones that you want to upgrade to? Also, let me know what drones you're flying. Subscribe for more videos on drones, photography, and everything in between, and YouTube recommends you check out this video next. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.